Okay, so I'm super excited to welcome Vanessa to the podcast this week. So if you're watching on YouTube, do say hello in the comments. And if you're listening, do connect via the information underneath the video. So Vanessa, do introduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Saunders. I am the founder and CEO and broker of Global Property Systems, which is a real estate brokerage that's based here in New York. Even though you can tell by my accent, I'm not from around here. As I say, I come from Queens because I speak the Queen's English.
Very good.
I've been in the States since 1992, and I met Anita, about 9 months ago now, I
Yeah, I
guess.
think it is. Yeah, about 9 or 10 months ago. So we haven't known each other that long, actually.
No, but long enough, and it's really helping. So I'm
Oh,
happy to be here and help.
that's brilliant. So I've asked Nessa on because she has a mirage of roles within her business. And I thought it'd be really good to see how you're using video. And you've got a YouTube channel already. So we're going to discuss that in a little while. So how long, Vanessa, have you been creating videos? And what types of videos are you currently making?
Okay, well, when I first came to the States in 1992, I came in as a student and I did a master's. I already had an MBA, but to get in on the visa, then I did an F1 visa and got a master's in international mass communications. And in that, I interned first at a radio station, and then the TV station that owned the radio station offered me a permanent job with a different visa status, which I obviously went for. And I became a producer, presenter, and editor and director because it was a
Ah,
small TV station and it did everything. And I learned how to produce, direct, and edit before the days of digital videos. So that's when I started in video production, I would say. So now in this day and age, now like 30 years on, I have my own company and I head up the marketing team and the creative team in a real estate industry where we try and do real estate differently to everybody else in the world that seems to be doing real estate. And you must have someone in your family that's a realtor. Everybody does, or a friend. So we try and stand out from the crowd by doing things differently, and video is part of that. And it's not just about showing our homes that we list and showing how good we are at doing that. We're trying to mix it up and give a lot of education in there as well. And it goes on from there. You'll find out
okay.
more.
So that's really interesting. So rather than just show homes and do walkthroughs, so what sort of content do you create and in what format? In other words, like, are you doing like the standard horizontal? Are you starting to play around with short video? Maybe explain a little bit about how you want to stand out with your video.
Certainly, I like to be as creative as possible. You've taught me an awful lot of where to get the good apps from, etc. And we are playing around with things. Um, do we do the usual? Yes, we do the usual. We do walkthroughs through the house. I've got very confident at doing walkthroughs. In fact, I was actually met one of my team's clients last night, and she said, "Oh, I love Vanessa's walkthroughs." So that's nice to hear. Whereas we have a professional photography team and they do the typical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think people really like it when you actually take in my case, the iPhone and wander around just talking about things and going, oh, look at that. And people
Yeah.
really actually connect with you when you do that. But we're mixing it up. It's not just about houses because that gets terribly boring. And everybody's doing it. So I'm trying to mix it up with I say cartoons. I'm doing infomercials almost. I'm doing educational videos. I'm talking about us, obviously, because I'm trying to grow my brand. But I'm also trying to educate people as to how real estate is done. And I try and do blogs and then a video that goes alongside the blog. So when I post a video on, say, YouTube, there's a link back to the blog and vice versa. My website now has a link, so all our YouTubes go right front and center of our website. So yes, we're mixing it up and we're learning as we go. Um, we have got a little bit of a following, but nowhere near where I want to be. And I have a goal of at least 100,000, and I think we're at nearly 200, 2,000.
Oh.
a long ways to go.
Well, a goal's good. And I think the thing is with YouTube, I think it's not an overnight success. It is a marathon. It is a long gamed social media platform. And I think that's what some people misunderstand with YouTube, because obviously on Instagram or TikTok, if you have a reel or a TikTok that goes viral, usually you get lots and lots of followers from it. Whereas I think with YouTube, it's just a little bit different in the way it's seen and looked upon. And I think with the introduction of shorts, that's changing a little bit now. And I think the YouTube are making it easier for small business owners and creators to actually use some of the tools that weren't within their reach previously. So, you know, like within like memberships, selling your products and things like that, that's all been the sort of like the level that you have to be at on YouTube has lowered now, so that you can access those tools a bit easier, which makes it more attractive, I suppose, to small business owners who want to get that visibility.
Yeah, there's things that you have taught me that I wasn't aware of are available on YouTube. Things like doing quizzes, and there's the neighborhood thing. Is it called neighborhood?
Yeah, the community tab. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where I've tried that. It didn't really work for me, but I can see how it would work done properly with someone else's, with a small business. But yeah, all those things that you have no idea how to do. I was in such a pickle when I first met you. I remember saying, "Oh my God, help me," because I have like multiple what is it, Google channels, if you like.
That's right.
And I didn't know where my YouTube was, and I think I had multiple YouTube channels as well. It was like, oh my God.
I know it can be quite overwhelming at the beginning when you don't know like how to sort of like navigate through those settings. And I think one of the things that YouTube does is that in order for you to comment on a channel, you have to have a channel. So most people come in and they just make a channel up and then forget about it, and then go in like when you want to start a business and think, oh, do I have a channel or not? And then you end up opening another one. So it can be quite confusing, but they have made it a little bit easier to navigate nowadays. So and I want to go back to you saying, well, I don't have that many followers. You've got 1,700 subscribers. That's a really good amount, Vanessa. That's, you know, that's really, really good.
1,000 though.
No, it's not, but we can set our goals and we can set micro goals along the way. And I think one of the things is with YouTube is that once you find your flow and you start to look at what's working on your channel and start repeating that, then, you know, that's when you start to get that growth. And I think
that is proving a problem, to be totally honest. It's this like what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
It can be very disheartening when you spend hours and hours and hours producing a video and you think it's really cool and you put it out there and you get 3 clicks.
Oh, I know. But I think the thing is that,
oh my God, is it worth it?
Well, I think the thing is with YouTube, and I think this is where it's different to the other social media platforms, is that it is worth it because YouTube indexes your videos so that it can come back up at any point. I was just talking to somebody this morning in one of the group chats that I'm in, and he's just got a video taking off now 10 months after putting it up. And he's like, he said there was nothing on it at all. And then suddenly it's just gone up now. And he's not like, well, I don't know why it's working, but it's suddenly started to work now. And I think sometimes the beauty with YouTube is that it keeps coming back to your channel, looking at the content. And that's why consistency really matters, because if you just continuously upload just one video a week, it tells the channel and it tells YouTube that, you know, you're active and you've got stuff to share, and it will just keep coming back and looking. So, which is really, really good. So it brings me to another question about YouTube, and then we'll move on to the nitty-gritty bit. Why are you using YouTube specifically? You mentioned blogs and you mentioned your website and things like that. So explain a little bit about why you're using it that way.
We're building a brand.
Okay.
We're in the nutshell, we are a small independent brokerage, though we're global, but we're not one of the mega companies in this country. You've probably even over there heard of Keller Williams, now EXP. They're huge companies, and to compete against them, we need to build our brand. And notoriety is the thing. And being different. So we're doing real estate differently to the traditional. We're really challenging the status quo, if you like. And that's what I try and bring to our videos as well. We challenge the status quo. So we're not just doing the normal every realtor is doing or real estate agent is doing. We're trying to bring new stuff into it. And to that end, I'm actually writing a book, and from the book came a producer that said, oh, you should do a podcast yourself.
Yeah.
And I will be doing a podcast, and it will start next year. And from that, we'll take the golden nuggets, guess what you're doing, and putting them out there on video. And hopefully we'll just continue to grow. It is working, as you say, it is working. And it does take that, what's the word? Just the diligence to keep, a tenacity, I say it's tenacity, to get in front of the camera, however you look. And I hate myself in front of the camera. I really do not like being in front of the camera at all. But there are tools that will help you grow your confidence, like speaking to the camera and having closed captions. That's really helped, and using some of the tools that you've helped me find, like Big View and teleprompters. It all grows your confidence. We have a little widget that you put on top of a tripod, and you can walk around the room and it will follow you. Just stuff like that you don't have to spend a fortune on, but it does grow your confidence because you look at it and you think, oh, that's actually not bad. But when a client says, oh, I really prefer to see the videos Vanessa produces rather than to what's obviously done professionally, that says a lot to me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's worth keep going then. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And you are amazing on camera. And I think that's the thing, is that we always look at ourselves on camera and go, oh, I just don't like it. Even I do it. Everyone does it. We look and we go, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like my teeth, or I don't like the way I sound. And, everyone has those limiting beliefs around what they look like on camera. And there are lots of different ways that you can get around it. Like you say, there's different techniques about doing video recording and things like that. And I think, like you say, if a client comes up to you and says, I love the way you do your videos, then that is the best sort of feedback you can have. It doesn't matter about any coaches or anything. If a client says that, then, you're onto something, you're winning.
And
I think that's important.
I'm not trying to be a super duper professional either. I'm just literally holding my iPhone and walking around the house and talking.
Yeah.
I don't turn the camera on to me, but I'm talking. It's very obviously me that's talking because my eyes. But it's very natural. And I think that's what it is. And when I have my team of agents come to my home, this is my home office, and put them in front of a camera, they sometimes
freeze. Yeah.
No, move, be yourself. And I think that comes with doing it over and over again. It's got easier. Certainly from COVID and having all these Zoom sessions and being on front of a camera and seeing yourself on camera has made it easier, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think, it has. It's made accessibility and the availability easier. And I think it's brought the price points down of some tools that were sometimes out of the reach of a small business owner. Because if you're just starting out, you don't want to have to fork out £200-300 for a little webcam. You want to pay $50 or £50 and start from there. Or like you say, use your iPhone with a tripod and a little clip-on light. You don't need to start massively. I actually just, at the moment, I'm using my webcam on my computer because it's a new Mac. So and I've literally only just bought this microphone.
I have a fancy microphone a bit like yours, but it's
and I've only bought this one more because I live on a main road, and this one actually picks up just the sound that's in front of it, so it actually excludes that sound from outside, so it just makes it easier and a little bit easier on everyone else's ears. They don't hear like a truck rumbling past or things like that. But it's also just something that I've grown into. It's not something that I started off with. So I think as you grow your video skills, sometimes you do move through trying out different tools as well. And I think that's really important, which it's a lot easier.
And the beauty of our introduction, since we've been talking, is the number of apps that you've introduced me to. And I have to give a shout out to Wave, because you taught me about Wave and it did revolutionize my life. To produce videos, it's so easy. Maybe not at first, you have to get used to it a little bit, but I used Canva, and I still do use Canva for a lot, and I go in and get some clips from Canva, and then I'll make some, and then I'll upload them to Wave.
Yeah.
And then I'll do whatever I do in Wave, or I'll go out and video something myself, and then I'll upload it. It makes my life so easy, and you can do so much with it. It makes you look very...
It's come along a lot, and there's a lot of new features. So it's wave.video, which is what we're talking about. And it's like an editing studio on the desktop. So it's not on your phone, it's on the desktop. And it's just, there's the ability to create short videos. There's templates in there. You can put your own videos in. It gives you the captions and the writing along. So there's all sorts of different things you can do. And it's also a catalogue of
YouTube videos that explain just about anything.
Yeah, exactly. I do. So talking about, like, I suppose that comes on to like time management, you know, what we're doing. So let's get into the sort of like nitty gritty of being a woman and all the things that go with that in a business arena using video, because I think that's really important to us to discuss, but also for the listeners and viewers to realize that it's okay to pause something because the doorbell rings or someone comes in or whatever. So how are you finding that? Because like you say, you're at home, your office is at home, you know, share with everyone like how you find that.
Well, when we first started talking, it was my husband walking back and forth, for example. I'm like, what don't you get? I'm recording. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear that.
I know.
I have my dogs that wander in and out. You can see over here is my dog Leaves. Yep. And that's a thing with my umbrellas and golf clubs and all sorts of things in it. It's the timing. It's the getting ready to go in front of the camera. Do you care or don't you care? I care. I feel like I have to put on my face, if you like, wear makeup, whereas normally if I'm not going to do a video, I don't, because I work at home.
Yeah.
I literally come downstairs and the first thing I do is grab a coffee and come in and turn my computer on. And a lot of days, in fact, 3 days a week, I have meetings at the crack of dawn over here in the States because I have an office in Europe. And they will see me on Zoom without makeup. They'll often see me in my PJs, but I'm not that confident. I don't think anybody wants to see me that way unless you actually work with me.
Yeah.
So there is that extra step that we as women have to go through, I think, to present properly. And I think you'll agree with me, because I'm looking at you and I've seen you without the makeup, just as you've seen me without the makeup. And to me, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here, or 9:30 in the morning here, and you're in the afternoon there. Yeah. It really does depend on the time of day, if you're in front of the camera. But I do a lot of videos where I don't even appear.
Yeah, that's right.
It's easier somehow to do it that way. And I use some of the time to get away from my other life of stress and use the creativity of producing a video. What can I produce today? You introduced me to TubeBuddy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn SEO, keywords, proper titles, the things that help you grow. And I have to take time out of my life and do that. But I'm finding, rather than watching the rather depressing news that we're watching every day, I would much rather come to my computer and play.
Yeah.
And it's really become almost a release to use my creativity, if you can call it that, to help me just get away from the daily stresses of life. And there was a lot of stress in my life. I was talking to you earlier, I'm founding a new company and I'm finding it very hard. In fact, I woke up this morning, I must have been thinking about it all night, and I wrote a list of things and put it on LinkedIn. As to my daily thoughts, as to what, oh my gosh, I'm bootstrapping a new business. It's very stressful and all the things that go along with it. But if I can come and play on my computer and learn new stuff, as I said, the day I start, this day I don't learn anything is the day I start dying.
True.
And I'm old. I've been, around for a long time, and it's nice to learn new stuff. As you well know, I do blockchain. That's what my podcast is going to be about. blockchain and technology is basically how you can transform real estate by turning technology into transparency. And finding a way to talk about that and then putting it onto video is going to be part of that.
Yeah.
So it's all about your own creativity. And I think as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we have to be creative. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here in front of the camera in the first place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're not just going to take any Tom, Dick, or Harry and say, okay, you're going to start a YouTube channel. We're here for a reason. And that's to grow our businesses, presumably.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I'm here. If you're teaching something, it's a business and you're growing it. So the whole thing about this is how can you do it differently and creatively and with the tools, learning about the tools, which is where you come in so beautifully and so eloquently teach people very confidently to be confident and to grow that confidence so that we can in turn help other people.
That's lovely. But I think you're right. Sorry, go on.
That confidence, I take that into my normal life. Being a grandmother, a mother, and a wife it's you growing that confidence, and so that just helps in normal everyday life.
And I think you're right. You know, creativity is different in everybody, and I think if you've got that passion inside you to build your business, then you'll find that outlet, whether it be sitting with your laptop on your lap in the evening, being creative, watching the TV, you know, while you're maybe creating a little video on Wave and things like that. Other people might do knitting, you know, other people will do sewing, or they'll go bike riding, or they'll do something. But if you find that sometimes you just want to focus on the creativity within your business, then video, I think, is a really good way of doing it, because there's so many different ways. Like you said, you don't always have to be on camera. You use your mobile phone and you point it away from you and you just record what's going on and you talk. And I think those types of videos are the essence of what people can see you in those videos, even if you're not in them, because they pick up your energy and they pick up your excitement and they pick up your outlook on things. And that's the experience that you speak through your words when you're doing that recording. And I think that's really, really powerful, that type of video.
So do I really do. But the fun part is finding new ways to produce a video. And there are so many ways available for next to nothing or nothing. There's so many things you can do. You can bring in stock footage for just about anything. If you can write, and now you can use AI, which is phenomenal. You just put in, okay, this is what I'm trying to write about. Give me a script. And it gives you a script and it gives you shot lists. And it's like, my goodness, this is phenomenal. It really is. And if you can allow yourself to grow with technology, then I don't think you'll ever look back.
No.
Don't be frightened of it, use it.
No, exactly. And I think let's talk about technology and the AI and different types of ways of doing things. So your real estate is built on doing things differently. So you use crypto banking, don't you, to do the transactions. So explain to the viewers and listeners about that, because obviously I've got that wrong. So go on, explain a little bit more for me.
We are certified in cryptocurrency. We are blockchain enabled.
Ah, right. Okay. So explain that to the viewers.
Crypto are totally different things. So you can have blockchain without crypto, but you can't have crypto without blockchain. And we only do crypto currently in international transactions cross borders. And crypto has got nothing to do with the blockchain technology that we are utilizing in our everyday business to provide transparent transactions. And that's a whole American versus British way of doing real estate thing, really. But I think it comes in, it's transparent transactions has always been an anomaly. So with blockchain, and I'm now not saying blockchain because so many people, have you heard of SEMrush?
Yes.
Okay. So SEO. So dumb yourself down. Don't talk at this high level. Yeah, I went back to MIT. I did blockchain technology, innovation, and application. I have 2 master's degrees, so I tend to talk on a level. And I've been told, no, you've got to bring it down. So don't say blockchain, say technology. Because people understand technology. It's like going back to when we first had the dial-up on our internet. Remember those days?
Yeah.
We're frightened of it. We didn't understand it. We still don't understand how it works, but we use it every day.
Yeah, I think technology is a really good name for it. Actually, in the news today, they were saying that hallucinate is the biggest word at the moment in the dictionary, like the most used word. And it's because when AI gets things wrong, people have started calling it hallucinate. So in other words, when something is wrong that the AI produces, it's hallucinating. So that I read that article this morning, and it was quite interesting how words that we've used in our dictionary for a long time are now starting to get different meanings because of technology and because of a different way of using certain things.
Really interesting.
Yes, it's interesting.
Not perfect, and AI isn't perfect, but it's perfecting itself pretty darn quickly.
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT 4. I'm the professional one because it helps me. It's like having a personal assistant editor next to me. It's phenomenal. But now they've got all these other things that they've added. One of them is called DALL-E. Have you looked at DALL-E? It uses graphics essentially, but it can't spell.
No, he can't. He gets it wrong. I know. And when you go into it and you ask it to give you a different variation, it can't produce the same image.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it doesn't have a memory. So
it will come, and I'm sure it will come quickly, but it's so fun to learn this new stuff.
Yeah, and I think
of it, just laugh at it, play with it, and then realize how much it's helping you in everyday life.
Yeah, and I'll pick that up. Don't be afraid of it, because I think whenever I've shared that I'm using ChatGPT, and for those of you that don't know what that is, that's AI-driven information. So you feed it information and it gives you information back. And I use it for ideas. So I'll put in a sentence and I'll give it the more information you give it in relation to what you want, the more it gives you back. And it gives you lots of different things. And I put a post up a few days ago and people are like, oh yeah, but you know, it's scary and things like that. And I think when you use it as a tool, which is what it is, it's a tool to help your creativity. Like you say, it's like having a personal assistant. It's like if you've got an idea, put it in and see what it says, because it will just use everyone else's information.
Like it's a person.
Yeah, I do. I say good morning, I say thank you, I say please, I say goodbye.
But I actually argue with it. And I'll say, you know, this is what I'm looking to do. Can you do better? And it will do it. And I'm going, no, that's not what I'm looking for at all. And I will tell it that.
Yeah.
And it will say, okay, give me a little bit more, or do what and it will come up with something at the end of the day that I like really well. Yesterday, I did something that I never do, is I wrote a poem. I have no idea where this came from. I woke up in the morning, I'm like, I have a situation, and the only thing I can do to get it across to the person that I'm trying to get it across to is write a poem. So I don't write poetry. I haven't written poetry since I was in high school. So I wrote this, what I felt was a poem, and I gave it to ChatGPT and said, do better. Oh my God, did it do better?
Wow.
It's really, really good, in my opinion. But it worked. They have a recipe one.
Wow.
They have a ChatGPT recipes. So you say, I've got these ingredients in my fridge. What can I make? Make something. That's phenomenal. My husband likes that because he does most of the cooking these days.
Yeah, and I mean that's the great thing about it. It gives you the ideas, because actually I just did a video on mine, how to get 50 ideas for your video content. And I literally put in the thing that I did and the thing that I wanted to share and the thing that I wanted my audience to learn. And I said, give me 50 ideas. And it just streamed out these 50 ideas for video content. And then I took the first 5 and said, okay, give me an idea of how to make those 5 videos. Can I make them into shorts, or can I make them slightly longer? And it gave me 5 titles with a little description. And then I could go away and think, right, so how could I do that? You know, and it gave me like 5 different ideas for each one. So for instance, behind the scenes, it was saying like, you know, do a quick video of a conference, do a quick video of your desk setup, you know, do a quick video of your day in the life, you know. So it's really good if you get stumped with ideas to put out there. Just type in what it is that you want to say to somebody or to say to your audience, and it just gives you these ideas. So it's not going to do it for you. Yes, some AI will create the videos for you, but they're not with you on them.
A lot of times I will write a blog, for example, and I know that I need it edited. I write in English and I'm writing for an American audience in general. So I can say, okay, take this and do it in a different tone. You can actually say, write it as Shakespeare. You can write it as anybody. It's really quite fun. But if you say, okay, I need this to resonate with an American audience, it will rewrite it for you.
Wow.
It is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, it will also translate.
Wow, that's really good.
For somebody and translate it. I know there's all sorts of other apps for that, but it's so much easier if you just write it once and, okay, translate this for me.
Yeah.
You can also ask it math questions. My daughter is using it for like, okay, so how do you do this math? And my son-in-law is a captain, a sailing captain, and he will do real nautical math equations for you really, really quickly.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I think we're talking about YouTube here, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, AI works with YouTube, and I think that's where you've got to sort of like, I suppose, open your mind to the different advances that you can use technology for. And if we keep using that word technology, I think that's really important. Like for example, you could ask it to come up with the ideas for your script. So in other words, if you're a little bit stuck for ideas of what to write about, you can go in with what you're doing at the moment in your business, what the end goal of that is, and then ask it to come up with 4 or 5 ideas. You can then take one of those ideas and go away and record a video. And then what I do is I actually upload my videos to wave.video, and I get the text file of what I've said. And then I put that back into the chat GPT and say, right, only using my text file of my audio of my video, now give me a YouTube description. And it uses what I've said and it gives me the YouTube description. And then I'll say to it, okay, so now from that description, write me a newsletter that I can send to my warm audience, and it gives me the newsletter. And then you can even ask it, just using the content that I've produced, write me a blog post that I can put onto my website. So you see how by doing that, you're saving so much more time. So especially as I would say as women, but also some men are caregivers as well. So depending on how much time you've got, it's just a really good tool to help you save time. And I think it's very precious time, because you've got to juggle between how much time you sit in front of your desk, how much time you spend with your family and your friends, and how much me time you have. And I think if you can use those tools to help you with your YouTube creation and with anything to do with your business, I think it's really important to not be afraid of technology, and to just, if you're a little bit nervous about it, just step into it a little bit at a time and gradually get yourself used to it. But I think technology, it's not going to disappear. And no.
It does amazing things. Like, for example, I'm founding a new company right now, and I'm bootstrapping it at the moment, which means I'm raising the funds myself. But then I'm going out to do a raise. I'm looking for investors. And I hadn't done one of those before. So I went to ChatGPT AI and I said, how's the best way to do a raise? And it gave me, I mean, literally soup to nuts.
Wow.
To do this. It was phenomenal. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And as I said, doing YouTube is probably the most sensible thing to move forward in any business.
Yeah,
grow your business. And there are so many advantage of it. Like it's synergist with Google.
Yes. And I was going to show that actually from your what you were saying about how you're putting your videos onto your website, and our viewers and our listeners, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about when you listen or watch this, because I'll have it up on the screen. But the website that you have, you've linked it to your YouTube channel. And of course, because you're almost getting like lots of wins there, because your videos on YouTube are indexed in Google. because the keywords, like you said before, you're using TubeBuddy to help you with your keywords and your tags. And that basically means that you're optimizing your video as best for search. So if someone's going into Google and they're typing in real estate agents in the New York area or your area specifically, your channel, your website's going to come up, your videos are going to be indexed on YouTube, but also by Google. So you're wanting them to be pulled across to Google. And there's all these connections away, like coming from just that one video. So I think
you don't have to do anything. You just upload it to YouTube and it's done for you. It's all of that. You do in our website that links it to YouTube, and I don't have to manually do anything. I just upload it to YouTube and it's done. It's magic.
Yeah. I know, and that's the joy. And I think that's what's misplaced, like knowledge of being attracted by the other social media platforms. They've got their place, and I think they're just as important. But I think YouTube itself, because of its close connection with Google, there are so many different opportunities that you can get from YouTube that you don't get in the other social media platforms, because they're like their own little universal bubble. And yes, the search might be really good in one of them, but it's coming out of those channels to the world is different. Yeah, that's right. You need to be able to.
The main audience is YouTube, Google.
Yeah.
And then there's a certain demographic that's on Instagram, a certain demographic that's on Facebook, et cetera, Pinterest.
Yeah, TikTok, those places, yeah.
LinkedIn is really proving to be a winner for me right now.
Yeah. And I'm actively posting to LinkedIn as well. And I'm also sharing my videos from YouTube into LinkedIn as well. So that's another arena that we can look into when we're doing things. So well, it's been a really interesting talk. Is there anything else you want to share, Vanessa?
I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
You just said something that made me think, and like jumping in thinking, when you upload a video and you have the opportunity to share, you can share it direct to Facebook, YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera. Is there an advantage to doing it from YouTube, or should you take the share code and put it in somewhere else?
It depends on how it works. So from YouTube to Facebook, there's been a lot of errors with the sharing option. When you click on the Facebook icon within YouTube, there's a little bit of confusion over on Facebook of where it goes, whether it goes to your personal, whether it goes to your business page and things like that. So copying the share link is the easiest option to share to Facebook. If it works, sharing it from in-app to in-app is perfectly okay. So if you click the LinkedIn icon on YouTube and it shares it directly into LinkedIn, that's perfectly fine as well. Both ways give the opportunity to write some context, because I think it's always good to put the context in there while you're sharing it. And I don't think that's a problem, clicking the icons or the share button. It just depends on whether it works. One of my probably most viewed videos on my own channel is about sharing YouTube videos to Facebook, because so many people get an error, and I've done like 3 or 4 different workarounds. But the easiest and the most quickest way is to just copy the share code, which is the YouTube video link, and paste that directly into Facebook or LinkedIn or anywhere else you want to go. And it's probably easier because you just copy the link once, you open up LinkedIn, put it in, do the content, schedule it, go to Facebook, or if you're using a social media managing tool such as say Buffer or Hootsuite or something like that, you put it in and it does it for you. But and
there's one other question, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
The timing of posting a video, is that important?
I would say yes, and I think it depends on where your audience is located. So obviously, if you look at your analytics in your YouTube studio. So when we look at YouTube as a whole, it's actually really good at giving you some analytics, and it will, if you post regularly to your channel, it will learn when your viewers are coming to your videos, and it will give you some time estimates of when to post and when's a good time to post and what days are good. And it sort of gives you a rough band, and you can find that in your YouTube studio just under your content in the analytics area.
I know that I'm bad at this, because when I produce something and I've made it, I want to just press go and go. And aptitude of holding it back and say, okay, I've got to wait till Thursday to actually post this.
Well,
I want to do it now.
I know, and I think when you spent so much time creating something, it's like, oh, I want it to go out now. I want it to like go out now. I think one really good practice that you could take away from today is if you do upload a video to YouTube, always either unlist it for a little while or schedule it, because then it gives YouTube a chance to do all of the checks that it needs to do. So a lot of us are perhaps creating content with audio from outside of YouTube that we are maybe not so sure is copyright okay, or you might be taking a TikTok video and putting it onto YouTube. If you upload the video and have it set to unlisted, it allows YouTube to do those checks. And if for any reason there is a problem with the audio, you can go in and fix it, because you can go in and like if you've done like an illustrative video where you're not talking and you've got music in the background, if there's a bit of an issue with the sound, you can go in and mute the sound and maybe add in one of the audios from the YouTube library, because YouTube has its own library of audio as well, which isn't used as much by a lot of people. But that's a practice that I do. And scheduling it also means that you can prepare other documentation related to that video. So, for instance, you can then take that video and get the script for it, maybe get ChatGPT to help you write a blog for it, embed it onto your website ready to go in a blog that's scheduled to go out at the same time. So it gives you time to prepare all of the things that could amplify that video and help you with your marketing.
Brilliant as always, Anita. Thank you.
Well, I think that's a good thing to sort of like, you know, it is really nice to just put the video out there when it's up, but sometimes it can be quite hard to do. And it's easy, not all the time, but inside your YouTube studio, YouTube doesn't always show you those times. So that's why consistently uploading at least once a week is good, because it will start to give YouTube that data that can then give to you. But don't always like be transfixed on the analytics, because, you know, if you know something's coming up in your market of expertise and you know that you want to get something out before a deadline, then pop it up onto YouTube whenever, and then just when you really want it to be seen, that's when you start really sharing it, so you can sort of like gauge when you want to amplify it. And I think that's a really good thing with YouTube, is that the content never disappears, so you can go back to those videos and reshare them and give it another breath of life, or change the thumbnail or fiddle with the title. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. It just amplifies that one video and gives it like a breath of fresh air, I suppose.
What you just said, resharing it, would you download it and play with it and then upload it again?
No, I would keep the same video there, but I might change the title to make it a little bit more dynamic if I was resharing it outside. Say like if it had been there for a couple of months and it wasn't getting very much traction, maybe put the title that you've already got into YouTube in a separate window and see what comes up. Is the content that YouTube is showing with that title relevant to the content that you've actually got in your video? Because sometimes we look at our videos from the creator side of things and not from our audience side of things. So we label it like we understand it. Like you were saying about talking at a too high a level, we have to go right down to basics and go, right, so how will they understand this video? What can I put in the title that they might be searching for in YouTube or on Google? So it's like reversing yourself. So you're sitting in front of the camera creating, but when you're publishing, you're sitting on the other side of the camera, and you have to think of it like that. I think that's a really good way of thinking about growing your channel, is to step into your audience's shoes and go, how would they look for information?
Well, smart advice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. So thank you so much for being a guest. We've covered so many different topics today, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's been a really good, informative video podcast. Can you just share with the audience how they can follow you, get hold of you? And I will share your information underneath, but just let them know how they can connect with you.
Connecting with me personally, I'm on LinkedIn as Vanessa Saunders. My company is Global Property Systems. You can see behind me, Global Property Systems. But Vanessa Saunders on LinkedIn is probably the best way to get hold of me.
Okay, brilliant. And I will share Vanessa's information for her business and her personal contacts in the description of the podcast and the videos. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us this week.
Give my love to old Blighty.
I will.
And happy holidays.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.